Good evening, all my South Orange Maplewood listeners, and all those other listeners in the towns of Melbourne, Livingston, Irvington, West Orange, East Orange, Orange, and Newark. Welcome to In the Village with Anselm on the South Orange Maplewood online radio experience, and live on the World Wide Web at somore.org. And the only radio show covering all your news, opinions, politics, talk, and sports happening in the South Orange Maplewood communities. You can listen to us every Monday through Friday from 8 to 9:30 p.m. and reach us at 973-327-3626. That's 973-327-3626 to participate in the discussion. As usual, we have an interesting program lined up for you this evening, and I look forward to your participation in the discussion. And as we continue the discussion tonight, we're going to continue the discussion on cracking the codes. Because I believe in these two wonderful communities of South Orange and Maplewood, we need to talk openly about certain issues. I know sometimes people cringe when you talk about certain issues. But it's not only for me in the Village with Anselm on the South Orange Maplewood online radio experience to talk about race, but the Community Coalition also has on May 14th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. conversation on race. It's called the Story Door Project. Implicit bias. Who, me? That's what we'll learn about and discuss this year at the conversation on race. How are implicit bias at work in our lives, and how can we create change? Presentation by Elizabeth Williams Riley of the American Conference on Diversity, followed by small group discussion. To reserve a seat in advance, you need to fill out a contact form, or you can call the Community Coalition at 973-761-6116. That's 973-761-6116. Or send an email to info@twotongues.org. Again, the date is May the 14th from 7 to 9 p.m. You can call the Community Coalition and race at 973-761-6116. Now, I have to tell you that some people feel very uncomfortable when you decide to talk about race. It's an uncomfortable subject. But you know, if we sweep things under the cover and we never have discussions, how is change going to come about? We can't keep doing the same thing and expect to get different results. We have to have open discussion. So I don't think anyone should form an opinion about an individual or an organization because they decide in 2 days out of 365 days out of the year to talk about a conversation on race. I think it's important for us to have that type of discussion. And as I say always, you can feel free to chime in on discussion at 973-327-3626. Because in these communities of South Orange and Maplewood, you know, I was reading something just today, and someone was asking the question, should they move to Maplewood? And overwhelming, the response was yes. And some people added, maybe it's a good idea that you can throw in South Orange as well. And one of the main things there were two things that were significant in the responses by many of the individuals. The first thing was the diversity in South Orange and Maplewood. And the second thing was the education system. And of course, thirdly, they may talk about the New Jersey Transit, the Midtown Direct. But two prominent things are always diversity and the education system. And we in this community, we cherish how diverse our community is. At least I cherish it. I really seriously cherish the diversity of South Orange and Maplewood. As a matter of fact, let me throw the next question out there. If you had to do it all over again, would you move to South Orange and Maplewood today if you had to do it all over again? I can tell you, I will move to South Orange and Maplewood in the blink of an eye. So tonight, we continue the discussion on cracking the codes. And last night, we're going to just give you a summary of what cracking the code is all about. This is a movie. If you go to somore.org, right on our homepage, on our website, on our homepage, you will see the trailer for cracking the code. Now take a listen about this movie as we continue to bring to you the different parts of cracking the codes tonight.
I made this film because I think it's important to deepen the national conversation on race. It's a conversation that tends to be both shallow and difficult to have. And so I made this film for all people who want to have that conversation, whether you want to have it in your family, in your classroom, where you work, or where you worship. This film is meant to support you in having a conversation that matters.
Let's take a listen to some of the different parts of cracking the code for many different individuals who were involved in this movie. Let's take a listen to this part right here.
White boy who walks in the room and is animated and moving around and maybe even a little cheeky is smart. And isn't he smart? Isn't he cheeky? He's almost looked at as, well, boys will be boys. A boy of color, especially an African-American boy who walks in the room exhibiting the same behavior, walks in and it's, I might need to keep an eye on him. We are afraid of these young boys. And I'm talking young boys, 4 years old and above. And that instead of the teacher looking at him or herself and saying, what is going on with me? That this same behavior creates fear in me instead of admiration. We pathologize the boy of color.
Jump shot.
No, look, I want to get over there.
Dance.
No, listen, I need to get over there.
Crack.
No, I'm sorry, look, I just want to get over there.
Rap.
No, I need to get over there.
Hey, man, show me your jump shot. Show me your jump shot. Rap for me. Come on, rap.
Just stop.
There was no place for us in school. I would argue that the greatest waste of time in my life was the 4 years I spent in high school, and this is coming from an educator, that there was, from the food we were fed to the only way we were really accepted in school, you know, the black boys are the mascots of any high school that they're in where I grew up. I don't know about other places. I've seen it in other places, though. I see it now at universities, where like the black dudes are, you know, they're the provocative part of your experience in high school or college or in the workplace, you know. And for me, it didn't speak to me. Race always deals with boxes, right? And I think when we are, so let's say you grow up in the suburbs, you know, or you grow up in an affluent area in a city that has an affluent area and a ghetto, but you're black, a black boy. And so you get to school and there's a box for you. And that box says you rap, you're an athlete, you're slightly to highly misbehaved, you're not involved or into your education that much, you sell and or use drugs. That's the box that you're accepted in. And in order to play ball, no pun intended, that's how you interact with yourself, your own identity, and this is how you're cool. But you feel like the box that it traps you in is you feel like to be healthier, to be in a more sound mind state, to think and know and come from a place of foundation in your life is something that you have to be ashamed of and you have to denounce, can drive you crazy.